The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
I want to share with you a story that I was just told over to me for the first time. I want to share with you. I think it's very important. I think it's an eye-opener to our responsibilities and to who we are. Very geschmack story, very powerful idea. So just listen and spread it out. You should spread out the story just so we all remember who we are. And we remember our responsibility, and we remember what nation we are a part of. Just as a reminder, because I know you know. I'm talking to the guy behind you who forgot. Anyways, this is a true story, unless, of course, it's not true. But it is true. I heard it from the person himself that it happened to, a good friend of mine who is an amazing person and who does a lot for Klal Yisrael. If I tell you who it is, you'll be like, oh, of course. Classic. His name is Pliny. And so the story is like this. So this past summer, towards the end of the summer, the end of August, his family decided that he decided with his wife that he wanted to go on vacation with the ganze Mishbuche. And since they're a large family, they go to Airbnbs. They don't go to hotels because hotels can't hold big families. You must be thinking like hotels could hold big families, not 63 kids. He happens not to have 63 kids, but I'm just saying, if you thought it could hold anybody, it can't hold anybody. And if they have a large family, they didn't want to do hotels, they did an Airbnb. So they decided to go to a place called San Marcos, which is next to San Diego. And that's where they're going to spend their vacation. They're going to find a nice Airbnb, geschmack Sachen, and they're going to enjoy themselves. In order to serve Hashem better, that's the point of a vacation. Obviously, everybody knows that. Anyways, they find this place, 10 acres. It has everything you could dream of. Trampoline, hammock, pool, zip line, a petting zoo, hot tub, probably a cold tub also. An hour away is Legoland and Lego World and Lego Scene and Universal and Disney World, and there's ponds and there's playgrounds. Everything you could imagine is on this property. Okay, it's in the middle of nowhere. Big property, there's a ranch house, and behind the owner's house is another guest house that they put up for Airbnb. Anyways, they called the owner and they said, we'd like to, rent your place for a few days at the end of August. And they went back and forth, and they agreed on the dates. Okay, anyways, they made up to meet, and when they get there, they'll meet the owner. The owner will give a tour, which probably takes a few days itself, extra money, and then they'll enjoy the property. Okay, very nice. And the day comes, they leave. Literally 5 minutes after they leave, the oldest son is like, "Are we there yet?" They're like, "No, we just left. It's a 2-hour drive." 5 minutes later, "Are we there yet?" No, we're not there yet. "Are we there yet?" Finally, they get there. I'm sure that didn't happen, by the way. But it probably happens in your family. Anyways, they get there and the owner is not there. The owner's gone. So they call up the owner and the owner says, "I'm so sorry, I'm not around. Here's the code to the house. Go make yourself feel at home and do what you need to do. And when I come, I'll come back, I'll give you the tour," etc. Anyways, that is exactly what the kids did. They made themselves right at home. And they started touring and all the zipline wall, look, it goes from there to there. That was a little bit bigger. From there to there, you get out and you're like, yo. It's like skiing almost. Skiing, you go up for like 3 hours and you go down 3.5 minutes. A roller coaster, you wait in line for like 3 days. 2.5-second roller coaster. Okay, they see the zip line, they see the swing area, beautiful. They see this, they see that, the pond, everything beautiful. And all these things are advised, it's all in the advertisement of the Airbnb. Anyways, one of his kids, as he's walking around the property, he finds a trailer, and he opens the trailer, and he goes inside, and he sees that there's a pool table, there's like an air hockey table, there's a whole bunch of different game stuff going on in the room, and he was wondering if we could play here. Like, "Dad, could we play here?" And it was interesting because that wasn't in the advertisement. This game room trailer wasn't there. So a friend of mine was wondering, it's very curious that it wasn't here, but I guess we can play here because maybe we're not even supposed to be in this room. Okay. So the kid's like, "Please." He's like, "We're there." No, wrong question. "Please, could we play? Could we play?" He said, "I don't know. We can't be in here now. Let's ask when the owner comes if we could use the room." Anyways, later on the owner came, a very nice lady. Her name was Candy, by the way. A very religious Christian. She had 5 daughters. And she gives them a tour. And in the tour, she skips the trailer. So at the very end of the tour, she says, "Sanu, what do you think of our property?" She didn't say "nu." She said, "What do you think of our property? And you have any questions, let me know." So right away, he's like, "Oh, amazing property," because you always make a Kiddush Hashem when you have an opportunity and make them feel good. And he said, "I do have a question. There is a trailer that my son ran into before that I noticed you skipped. I noticed it's not in the advertisement for the Airbnb, and it's like a game room. And, what's up with that? Why isn't that there? It looks so gishmak. She's like, it looks so what? He's like, no, gishmak. That probably also didn't happen. But, is that part of it? And she's like, oh, you went into the trailer. Oh boy. And when she waited for a minute, she was thinking after he asked if they could play there. And then this is what she said. Rabbi said, listen to these words. The pasuk said, it's like quoting like a chazal somewhere. She said that this room is really not for guests. We normally do not let anybody go into that room. Why? Because my husband's a jeweler. And all of his equipment, for whatever reason, we're not asking any shilas on candy, but for whatever reason, the equipment for the jewelry, for cutting the jewels and all that fancy, expensive stuff is hidden in that room. And we're afraid that if anybody goes into that room and they see such expensive equipment, somebody could take them. Oh, I didn't know it was yours. It's my house. I didn't know it was yours. So therefore, we do not let anybody go into that room. It's supposed to be locked. I'm not even sure why it's not locked, but that's why it's not advertised, and that's why nobody go in. And then she said, but, however, I see that you guys are Jewish. And that means that you guys are God-fearing. And you follow the Torah, you follow the Bible. In other words, you represent God. And therefore you guys could use it. I'm not afraid you're going to take anything because you're Jews. You're the light unto the nations. And I know that this is the first time that I'm meeting you. And all I know you is from a phone call and from renting my place. And I don't know anything about you. You could be the biggest criminal. You could be, I don't know anything. But what I do know is that you're Jewish. And because you are Jewish, and because you represent Hashem, you could go and play there. And I'm not nervous. Rabbi said pretty powerful words said by Candy. And very true words also. We are the children of Hashem and we know this. I should say, and she knows this. The question is, do we know this? Do we realize who we are? Do we realize how people really look at us? Do we realize what we represent? We are the children of God. We are Klal Yisrael. And everybody knows this. Even if there's anti-Semitism and people want to make believe that this and that, and it's because of the jealousy, it's because we have the Torah. Everybody knows who we are. And that's why when we do something wrong, it goes much further away. Because the Jews can't do this. You're the child of God. How could you do that? And when we do something nice, it makes a massive Kiddush Hashem. Rabbi said, this lady told him that just because I see you're Jewish, I'm allowing you to do something that I never ever allow anybody else do. Because I trust you. Because you're Jewish. This is a fascinating story, and I think it gives us all a responsibility. Sometimes we forget who we are, even though a lot of the Goyim know who we are, but we forget who we are.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org